second for people to join. So how's your day going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Wait, are we live?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my day was pretty good. How's
Good.
your day?
Good. No, it wasn't bad. It was not bad. Work went pretty smooth. So I really can't complain. Um,
Nice.
what I need is like a 5 minute countdown. That's what I need. Um, Unfortunately, I do not have one of those. But anyway, come on, come on, someone come in. We're at 0 viewers. Life's rough. Life's rough. Um, on the set, episode 6, 5. There we go. 3 viewers. 3 viewers. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to On the Set. Today we are talking about most important roles for one through five. How are you doing, Justin?
Hey guys, I am doing great. I'm on spring break, so I have plenty of time to do this podcast.
Awesome. Awesome. I
Yeah.
am on vacation next week, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, unfortunately. It's my son's birthday on the 20th. His birthday is 4/20. So
Wow.
go figure. Do you know who else has a birthday on 4/20?
Who is that? Who may that be?
Someone famous in history. Just take
George
a
Washington?
no, it's Adolf Hitler.
Oh,
Yeah,
good to
my
know.
my my son shares a birthday with Hitler. So that's not good. But hopefully that doesn't go down that way. So topic on hand. Most important roles from 1 to 5. One being the most important, 5 being the least important. What is your role, or what is your lineup?
Hmm. Um, this is kinda okay. For sure, no doubt in my mind, jungle is definitely the most important role in the game. Um, that role impacts every other lane. It also makes the most plays. In competitive as well, it's the most, I guess, sought after, I guess. So if you're a good jungler, a lot of teams want you.
Yep.
Second for me would be support. Um, I only say that because support carries the bot role. You dictate the lane. You roam, you ward, you sweep. Like without support, game's a lot harder actually. Third for me would be top lane. That lane is just a skill matchup, and feel like if you lose that lane, the top laner can snowball really hard and take over the game. Fourth would be mid, being that it's also a skill matchup, but it's also very dependent on your jungler, which makes it less skillful for me, because a lot of times what you're doing in the mid lane is either 1v1ing or just pushing and roaming. And fifth, I put ADC because that that role, I guess, is very dependent on your team carrying you. You're not the one carrying most of the time until like late game.
I agree with your first two at least. Devin Jeffords in the chat says a good support makes a bad ADC look good. Um,
True.
so uh, I have no idea how to actually pronounce his name. Nithaya. Um, he says, haha, Rome, what's that? For me, I am going to go down the list. I think jungle, again, like you said, is the most important role. It really has to control all aspects of the map. Not only your side of the map, you have to be able to control 3 lanes. Um, to an extent, obviously you're not in control of everyone's lane, but at the same time, you kind of have to be if you really want to succeed at ganks and all that stuff. Plus, you have to be able to track the enemy jungler, and that's going to provide the most valuable information that your team can get, whether they're going to get ganked or not. Um, Following that, support. I think with support, you're playing the map as opposed to playing the laner. So you really have to know all the critical warding spots, where you're going to sweep, how you're going to set up vision for objectives. Following that, I would actually go mid, just because mid has the opportunity to affect both sides of the map. Um, to help control like early scuttle crabs or contest objective control, objective control, blue buff, red buff, all that stuff. Um, After that, I would probably go top lane, almost for the same reason, just because if your top laner sucks, it's going to be a bad match, especially if they're not playing a tank like a Malphite, something that can affect the game later, or maybe a Sett or something that can have this engage. If it's playing like if you're playing a Riven and you have a really bad game, you're not going to have a good late game. And then last is going to be AD carry. Um, a good AD carry doesn't make the support look good. In my opinion, we see that in the pro scene of League of Legends when you look at like Core JJ plus Tactical looked phenomenal.
Yeah,
Tactical goes to TSM and they fall apart. Um, so
sure.
the support makes the AD carry look good. And I think it just happens to be the least important role because it's strictly damage. It doesn't provide utility for the most part. Maybe Senna, but most part it provides no team utility. What else do I want to say about AD carry? You're number one target, so your positioning has to wait for your team. So it just relies on your team to set everything up for you, and you just come in and pew pew pew. So
Pew pew pew. Yes.
that is my thought. What do you think about mine? Since I differed from yours a little bit.
Um, the only difference we had was between mid and top, right? Or our third and fourth pick,
Yep.
from what I remember. I can see arguments for both side for sure. I don't think you're wrong at all. I think mid lane is so. I think every role in this game is equally important, to be honest, because you take one out, then they all crumble. And so, like, I don't disagree with your argument. I can see arguments for like ADC being the most important role because you are all the damage late game
Mm-hmm.
or most of the damage late game. So, like, if anyone wanted to argue, then like I wouldn't disagree with them because they are also right in their own way. But
That's fair. Someone brought up a really good point that I don't want to take away from them, so I'm going to pull them into the Discord channel. So I'm going to bring in Azure if I can get Discord to work. Azure, what's up, man? Oh, he might have Discord muted.
oh,
Hold on. Azure.
uh, looking at YouTube chat, someone said I think the answer differs for solo queue versus five-man pro games. Yeah, I didn't really take that into account, but now that you mention it, I do actually think it matters a lot. Five-man pro games, every role is important. There's no role that is not important. But in solo queue, then yes, there are roles that are slightly more important than others, but honestly, at the end of the day, like every role is important to win the game.
For me, it's got to be Master Yi is the most important role. And there it goes, making my face pop up again. Adam, are you there? No. Okay. I'll let him figure that out. I'll pull in Archer instead. Archer, what's up, man? I wonder if they have Discord muted.
I wonder as well. Or maybe,
Maybe they just
hmm,
don't want to talk to
interesting.
us.
Maybe not.
You guys
That's
hear me?
fine. Oh,
Yes, yes.
there you go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So top what's obviously the topic on hand is going to be 1 through 5 most important role. What do you
Yeah.
think is your most important and why?
All right, so it all depends on situation because if I'm playing a five-man queue with everybody, I think the most important role is probably like mid. Because jungle's just gonna whenever I play with a team, the jungle just focuses on farming and objectives. Like they're not trying to carry. Like whenever I play with Thunder, he never tries to carry a match. He just tries to be a jungle. Just do his job. In solo queue, I will say it is jungle because there's so many times if I'm playing like mid or any other role, top, support, whatever, that I do well, but then I lose because our jungle is feeding and not taking any objectives.
Hmm.
So when
So
it comes to pro play, what do you think is the most important role?
Pro play, I was watching the qualifiers the other day, and it seemed like all the teams were always kind of leaning on their top
the
laner.
last chance qualifier.
Yeah, last chance.
Yeah. Did you see me play there?
Yeah, dude, your Galio plays were
Thank
sick. There was
you.
some sick Galio plays.
Yeah.
But like
I was gonna say really.
watching
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
watching enemy play, like their top laner pretty much did everything. And
Yeah.
then it wasn't just them. Yan too. Like their top laner did quite a ton. And just seeing all these pro teams, like so, like there were times when I'd forget the jungle even existed watching the pro teams play because it's like, oh wait, yeah, there's a jungle, but he's just farming and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Okay. So I was gonna say really quick. I do think in pro play, um, top lane, if you are gapped, that is the most like lane that it's obvious you're gapped because that's just 1v1 most of the time. It's you versus top
Yeah.
laner. It's you like you outplay them or they outplay you, and it's all shown on
Yeah.
camera. But in pro play, a lot of the times, um, we'll like we 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 plan ahead of time. Like we'll say like, oh, this lane you are going to be the weak lane, so most likely you'll be down in XP, you'll be down in gold, be
Yeah.
you have the weaker items. But on the other side of the map, you'll have lanes that are stronger. Like example, like uh, we'll have bot lane win, and then like we'll sacrifice top, focus all our resources towards bot lane, hope
Yeah.
they win and carry the game. So for competitive, it's a bit
Yeah.
hard to say which is the most important role because it's very situational and it's dependent on each team and each game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't say top is the most important role, but it seems like that's what a lot of teams gravitate toward is having a good top laner.
Hmm.
I can see that because if you're on an island, like they say top lane is, if you get behind, unless you're playing one of those engaged champions like a Malphite or something, you're probably not going to come back into the game.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that being, a high priority in pro play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think jungler, man. Like when you see Lamont play, it's just phenomenal. He takes over the game, but that could be an exception to the rule.
Yeah, yeah. Lamont is a different beast. That guy actually just 1v9s carries on his jungle role. So well, yeah. I'm not gonna say too
Yeah,
much
there's
because
some
I'm
people
actually
who
facing him.
just like, ooh,
Yep. So what do you think your next pick is?
a next pick below top. Probably mid. If we're still talking about just competitive play, uh, so many mid laners that just kind of they go under the radar most of the match, and then towards the end they just start popping off. Just
Mhm.
incredible plays and incredible moments that are just jaw dropping to watch. But at the same time, they don't have that same importance of like they're the carry. Like you know what I'm saying?
I think so. Um,
Yeah, it's like they're not as important as I would say like top or jungle, but they're definitely of high importance.
let's see. How do you feel about pros knowing about gold funneling, Justin?
Pros knowing about gold funneling.
I'm assuming like how to funnel the gold into like your AD carry or your mid laner, depending on who's going to be the one that's going to be carrying that game.
Uh, So they're asking like, how do we decide who we're gonna funnel?
Yeah.
Or
Our pro they just said pros know about gold funneling. How do you go about making that decision, or how do you go about sacrificing the experience and the gold for your AD carry to get ahead?
yeah. Okay, so there's multiple factors into deciding that. Obviously there's draft. It depends like what we're first picking or like what we're second and third picking. Counter pick. Those are all factors into helping us decide where we want to funnel our gold, where our jungler want to gank. And then there's also in-game where you have to make spontaneous plays and uh, different like you have to adapt to your environment, I guess. So let's say like we plan to focus all our energy bot lane, right? And but our top laner somehow like solo kills the top laner 2 times. Like he's already winning his lane. He's winning a losing matchup. Let's just transfer all our focus from bot lane to top lane, and I guess that's another way. I won't go into all the factors because it's super situational and super uh dependent on the situation, and so like those are just two of the ways we decide as a team.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So Archer, run it back one more time. Number one is
Uh, for me,
let's
number
shoot for
one would
solo
probably
queue
be solo queue jungle. Number
jungle.
one, just because it's jungle. You know, if you have a bad jungle, it doesn't matter how good you do. If they're not taking objectives, if they're not helping, if they're just feeding, most of the time you're gonna lose. Uh, Next is support, just because a good support can really change a match. You know, if one good engage, like if you watch, uh, if you watch at the Faker outplay in when they were almost lost. I don't remember who they were up against, but if you look at Wolf's engage, like I'm one of the fans that think Wolf's engage was the biggest moment of that play.
Which
'Cause
pl-
without that
Are you
engage,
talking
he
about?
wouldn't have. I'm not.
Are you talking
I
about
don't
the when
remember.
he was playing Zyra or Rakan? Because I'm sure
I
Wolf has made tons of good engages.
I
I'm
think it
thinking
was Zyra.
Zyra where he
I don't
flashes over the
remember.
Raptor pit and then hits like
No, it
Ring.
was probably the Rakan one,
Okay,
but
so
it's
the
when Faker was using Oriana and he hit the
yeah.
huge shockwave. If you look at that, honestly, in my head, I don't think he would have hit such a successful shockwave without Wolf's engage.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that play completely turned around the match, and they won off of that play.
I
And
was so
so,
I was
good
so
support.
confused. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I forgot which play it was, but a good support can turn around a match. Like even if you have a really bad jungle, because a lot of supports play like backup jungle. Like I know a lot of Morgana players like who are really good can easily steal objectives. Uh, Lux players that are really good and can steal objectives. It, the only reason it's lower than jungle is because like it's a small chance. It's a small chance that they can like turn the match around compared to a jungle who, if they just do their job right, then you win.
Mhm.
That's fair. See, when you were
Uh,
saying the Faker play, I did not see this one with the Wolf. So I was, or well, not the Wolf, but with the play with Wolf. I was thinking the Zed outplay. So I was like, what
oh
does the
no.
support have to do with the Zed
Oh,
outplay?
No, that
yeah, no. It was the. I need to find it and send it to the server so you can see it.
I got you. I
Yeah,
know exactly. Like
yeah,
I've
yeah,
watched
yeah.
League history
You know
for.
what? Yeah,
It's SKT
yeah. I've seen
versus
that play.
RNG, where they're down
Yeah,
like 20k gold or something, and like
yeah,
instant engage happens.
yeah. He hits the
Uh,
engage. Faker hits the shockwave, and then it all just they just start steamrolling from there. After support, I would say mid, just because mid has just as much impact as jungle, but it's not as important, and it doesn't have that comeback value like support.
Okay. unless you're playing against Zed and then you just get shit on, or
Yeah.
Yasuo and just get shit on, and then I don't know.
I think Yasuo just sucks. Like I see more bad Yasuos than good Yasuos.
That's fair.
So like it, there's not a lot of mid laners who can just trash on you and then carry their entire team. Like the other day, I played Zed and was 23-2 in a ranked match in Diamond and still lost because my jungler was bad and my support was bad. Everyone was bad. Even though I was so ahead and could literally one shot everybody, it still didn't matter, and that's why it's lower than support and jungle. Because even though it's has a lot of impact, there's only again it's only a small chance that you can actually turn a match around.
You know, I might have to change my answer. And support might be number one, just because Justin plays support.
Oh my gosh, after seeing those Galio plays you made, I might make support my number one. Cause there were some first match you guys played, or no, it was towards the end. You were up against, I don't remember who you were up against, but uh you were losing kind of early game,
Yeah.
uh, and you made one good engage, and it turned the entire thing around, and your entire team snowballed, and it changed everything.
Yeah. Um, I'm. Are you talking about the 5-man taunt or? Actually, I
I
don't
think
even
I
remember. But I think you're talking about the Fun Havers team. Uh,
yes, that was it. Yeah, it was that.
yeah, that was supports can definitely change the game for sure.
Yeah.
So after mid,
After mid,
yep.
yeah, after mid, I'd go top in solo queue just because I've had matches where I don't even see my top laner to the point to where they'll like I had a match the other day and we had a Renekton top, and when he came in to help team fight, I literally stopped like an entire minute trying to contemplate. We have a Renekton?
I've been there.
Like
100%. I've been
just
there.
like wait, where did this guy come from? Like I didn't know we had one of these on our team. They're just AFK farming the entire time, and like even if they go behind, like it really doesn't matter much. In solo queue, nobody's going to know how to like capitalize on weak links in teams. Like when I see the enemy top laner is like 0-5, I'm gonna mess with him. I'm gonna go and kill him some more and like use that to my advantage because I know like oh he's not gonna be able to 1v1 me. So if I just roam over while he's pushing in to the turret, that's a guaranteed kill. And so I can just abuse that. But most solo queue teams don't know how to abuse that. And so it's like they're just up the two top laners are just up there just battling it out, and like it doesn't have much effect in the match.
mhm.
Yeah, I've been in that exact same situation. I've had a Shin teleport down, and I forgot they were on our team, and I flashed away.
Yeah.
So
I did exactly that the other day too.
Mhm.
no.
Yeah, you
So what comes after? What comes after top for you? AD carry? Is that the
And then
last
after
one?
yeah, ADC and APC just bottom because I feel like there's not a lot of good solo queue ADCs and APCs in the game. Like there's just none. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have a bad duo lane,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
there's nothing I can really do about it. But like, also, it's not that important because like the whole point of an ADC is to carry, but you don't need them to carry because if you have jungle, a good support, a good mid, good top, like they're useless.
Yeah.
Now, if it's nice to have a good ADC, but it doesn't make a huge impact if they're bad, unless like the rest of your team is bad as well and they're all feeding. Like they're I like when I have a bad ADC, like if I see my ADC is like 0.5, 0, like even if it's like 0.10, I don't care much about it. Because I know if everyone else is doing well, then it doesn't matter much. We can still carry, we can still win fights.
So for example, I played AD carry the other day. I think it was yesterday. We were streaming and I was playing AD carry. I think it was
Yeah.
like 5-2 on Kaisa.
It was Kai'Sa, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I did like 9,000 damage, and so I really did
Yeah.
nothing other than last hit. Oh my god, my face just keeps popping up on the stream, and it is probably scaring children.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but yeah, no. So like, I really did nothing that
yeah.
whole match. I had a positive KDA, but I did 9.8k damage. I think I did less than the support as an AD carry. So
Yeah. That's a big thing that it's a very big misconception because people see attack damage carry or ability power carry and think, oh, that means I need a ton of kills. What that means is you need to deal damage.
exactly.
Like I had a match the other day and I only had like 2 kills and like 10 assists on Morgana APC, but I did like 40,000 damage because I was just dealing so much damage during team fights. And like even if they didn't die, like I'm still dealing damage and I'm still forcing them to back. I'm still forcing them to burn flashes. Like that's what's important is that utility.
Yep. And
Yep.
that's where I'm fine if like I play AD carry and I don't get all the kills, but I have a high support and high damage. 'Cause that's when you know you're doing your
Yeah.
job. But I did not do my job. I just had a positive KD that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I will say is being an ADC player, uh, or former ADC player, sorry, uh, when it's tilting for an ADC player to not get the kills as well because you
Yeah.
sort of expect to get the kills, you know. You also sort of want to get your ADC's kills as well.
Yeah.
This helps them get to their items faster, which allows them to get damage. But if they are, I don't know, like an ADC that has zero kills, zero deaths, and like 13 assists, you won't do that much damage compared to an
Yeah.
ADC that has 13 kills, right? And so,
Yeah.
so at the same time, like you have to sort of like give your ADC kills if you want them to do
Yeah.
damage. Unless they're really good at farming, that is another way. Like I've climbed through solo queue, like
It's,
I don't get many kills, but like I'll farm this ADC.
yeah. Yeah, whenever I play like Tristana or pretty much just Tristana, I don't really play any other ADC. I mainly play APC. But when I play Tristana, I mainly focus on farming. 'Cause most of the time in solo queue, I know my support isn't going to do what they need to do, and I'm not going to be able to do those super outplay moments and get double kills in like the first like couple minutes of the game. And so I just farm and just keep doing that. And especially with there's a lot of champions that are really good at farming. Uh, and if you just farm and farm and farm, even if your teammates flame you like, oh, you're not team fighting, you're not helping us out. If you can get fed off of just farm, and that kind of makes up for it.
Gotcha. Okay. Archer, I appreciate you joining us, man. I'm going to pull
Yeah.
Azure back in and see if he is able to hear us this time.
Yeah. CAP. Yeah.
Yeah, see, dude. Thanks.
Thanks,
Right.
Arch.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Every time we appreciate you. Demon, Adam, Azure, can you hear us? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Reading chat right now. Someone says,
Show the video on stream.
why do pros pick Senna ADC? Um, Pros don't normally pick Senna ADC. They actually pick it as a support. So a lot of what the pros do is they'll pick Senna first pick on blue side, and then they'll pair it along with like a tanky support like Nasus or Galio or Gragas, where the support will farm and Senna will just be the one collecting souls, poking the ADC, and just standing in the pack line and just healing and shielding and doing good damage as well. They're not actually picked as ADC a lot of times.
Want to know how to create
Cassandra can do a lot more damage than
Check out motionarray.com.
himself. Oh, Azure? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I fixed it.
There we go. Awesome. Now we can hear you.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, you said
What's it
458 is where you want me to skip to in this video, right?
Yeah, that's the crazy play Wolf does.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I got it so I can set it up so people can, because someone asked for me to play it. Adam, can you hear us? Okay. I guess we can go to questions. If anybody has any questions for either of us or anything like that, until Adam can fix his microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. There we go. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm just rambling
sorry.
on.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. What's your top 5 or your 1 through 5?
I was discussing this with Archer before the podcast, and he kind of influenced my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it? Most important? I think for me, I don't really see them as like roles of importance. I think of like in solo queue, what will you notice the difference more on between like a good person in that role and a bad person in that role? So like a good jungler versus a bad jungler.
Sure.
And I think that, yeah, my number one would probably be jungle. I think that if you're duoing and one of you is jungle, the chances and impact of you winning the game is probably going to be a lot higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Real quick, Archer had brought up a point, and it just reminded me. The bot lane, he was talking about how, there's not a lot of good synergy or anything. Something along the lines of that. Like, part of the reason why I never gank bot lane as a jungler is because you're adding multiple variables into the situation. So if you gank top lane or mid lane, you can just deal with one person. Bot lane you have to deal with two. And I don't know if you guys have ever ran into a situation where you gank bot lane and they just run away as you go in. So sorry, I don't know why that popped in my mind, but I needed to get that out for some reason. My brain just said get that out. Yeah. I'm gonna shut
So
up
the
now.
way that I look at it as a jungler, depending on the matchups, it can be really hard to gank bot lane. And depending on your solo queue teams, like they might be half health and the enemies are full HP. That is not a gank angle. I can do other things.
Mm-hmm.
And say you look over and your teammates are half health and the enemies are slightly lower than that. Even if you go in and you get summoners and you run away, that's fine. You take that.
Yeah.
And that's just the hard difference. Is it's a lot of times I can look down there and be like, I would like to help your lane, but you guys just ate free damage and they're full health. You haven't touched them. Like I can't. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah. I think at the lower elos, it might be a little harder to gank bot maybe. But I feel like though there is more variables that could be in play, I feel like the risk outweighs the reward. Or wait, the reward outweighs the risk. Because this is 2 people in 1 lane, so if you're shutting down 2 people, it's a lot of gold. Bot lane tower doesn't actually have extra armor, and so if you're ganking bot, that's almost, if you get 2 kills, it's like 2 plates at least, or even first tower. I would hope.
Also, counter ganking that could potentially be 3 kills. So that's a lot of gold.
Yeah. So yes, it does depend on the matchup, but if you're the jungler, you have to assess the situation and tell your bot lane like if you think it's possible, because a lot of times bot lane has more stuns actually. Like imagine if you have an Ashe and like a Thresh, it's easy ganks because Ashe hits press R, Thresh lanterns and hooks, and that's a free kill. So it's always situational, but as a jungler you should not rule out ganking bot because there's more variables in my opinion.
maybe I will review my gameplay and then I will go and reassess how I play jungle. Um,
Yeah.
it's a good point.
Also, I think for communication, making like not 100% calls unless you're like for sure. Like if like say you want to set up for a gank, don't be like, I'm gonna look to dive them, or no, not that. Just be like, I'm gonna dive them on the next wave. Instead, say, I'm gonna look to dive them, and then say it doesn't work out, you back out. But that way you're not forcing it, and you're also not confusing your teammates as well.
I wish the typing was easier to do in this game, because one thing that League does have over Wild Rift is the communication part is a lot easier. So if you, granted, people could mute their chats or whatever, but if they don't, it's easier to say, "Hey, level 2 gank," real quick, something like that.
Keyboard makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, the keyboard makes it a lot easier. So after jungle, did you discuss number 2? Sorry, I was playing with stuff in the background.
So I play a lot of marksman, and I found that like if so like if you don't have a team, I feel like the jungle you can impact the most. If you don't have a team as a marksman, you're struggling your pants off unless you're like really ahead. Your coin flip support's good, like it plays in your favor, but otherwise you're struggling really hard. And so it's like mid and support. I feel like the mid support jungle.
Yeah.
I'd probably play support as second, just because I play a lot of support, and you might not realize what the support's doing for you, but the shielding, the healing, the slowing, the knockups, everything, enabling you to tower dive and keeping you alive, it is really underappreciated. But the impact that they have is probably potentially the second highest, in my opinion.
Okay, I agree. What about number 3?
I don't play mid lane, but I'd probably say mid lane over top, because you can notice the difference between a really good mid laner and a really bad one, versus like on top lane you're an island. As long as you survive, you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like a coin flip Darius that can go 10-0 some games and 0-10 other games, but like if you can just survive top lane, the skill difference in mid lane would probably be more noticeable in solo queue.
Okay, that's fair.
And we're all in agreement that ADC is just a useless role.
Yeah. I love it. I like to do damage, but if my team would give me more kills and peel for me, I'd be happier.
Yeah.
That is something that's a very good point, because it's not only about engaging, it's about keeping your AD carry safe too. And I think a lot of people have tunnel vision where they're very forward focused, so they're not thinking, hey, I need to turn around and peel this person that's engaging on my AD carry. So that's a very good point.
You were against Master Yi, and I totally went forward as Yi just deleted you.
Yeah.
As your support.
One tip I'll give everyone, that something personal I do, how I win a lot of team fights is an ADC in solo queue where I don't have a good support. I'll actually, so the team fight will happen, right? And for about like 3 seconds, everyone in low elo will just burn all their abilities the first couple seconds, right? So what you can do is wait till they burn, like wait a couple of seconds and then go in after and do your damage, because at that point in time they won't have their cooldowns up for them to kill you. And so you'll still have like your flash, you'll have like your damage abilities, and you can kill them instead of them fully targeting you and chasing you down, where you can do way less damage.
Yeah, and the way you think about it, they're going to be using like not necessarily the auto targeting system, but they'll be targeting anybody within their range within the first 3 seconds. So if you're out of range of, say, Jack's dashes and things like that, if you're out of threat for that 3 seconds, they'll blow everything, and then that's not going in first unless you have outplay potential. Like I think Vayne invisibility can outplay a lot of things, but still it's so much better to not int yourself.
Same thing with
Agreed.
Kai'Sa, with her invisibility and her ability to reposition, a lot of outplay potential. And I notice one thing that I'll do on Alistar is I probably should ultimate first when I engage, but I definitely engage and I soak all those cooldowns. This way, the
I
team can follow up.
I would actually recommend you burn both your flash WQ and then ult immediately after that. Because if you ult before you go in, the enemy teams will be able to react to your WQ because they're like, oh, look, All-Star popped ult. He wants to go in here.
Gotcha.
So the other way is, that's why you want to flash WQ and then get in with your ultimate because you're also saving your ultimate timer. I think also lasts like 4 seconds, and so
I
it's
think so, 4 or
crucial.
5. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
gets the crowd control off you.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can Q flash on Alistar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. It's the craziest combo.
You can EQ flash with Jarvan. You can E flash with Shen. There's E flash with Lee Sin.
Yeah.
If
Uh,
just want to take a second, if anybody's still here listening on Spotify on audio, I just wanted to say I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. We're seeing really good retention rates, and that means a lot to us. So thank you. Shout out to our audio listeners. Justin probably didn't even know we had audio listeners, but we definitely do. We had about
now I do.
20 or 30 people streaming each episode, so which is a lot better because KDA only got like 11% retention rate, so we're looking at 33% retention rate, so it's a lot better. So this is letting me know analytically that we're doing a lot better.
Nice. I no, no, good to know though.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of back end stuff that people don't really notice, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do with interviewing people, was seeing the behind the scenes that people don't get to see, which is a lot of work goes into all of this stuff. A lot of money too goes into this stuff just so we can try to produce something that hopefully people enjoy. And it's been great so far. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed doing this with everybody. And streaming. I never thought I would actually stream, but I guess I put on a decent stream. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, oh my god, your hair. I finally see it.
Yes, it is brown now. You guys are actually the first viewers to see it. So yeah, you guys
What,
like it.
what was that like? So you got 500 followers, so you said you were going to dye your hair platinum blonde. And you ended up dyeing it, well, not brown. You tried to dye it blonde, right?
Yes.
Tell the story. It's a good story.
Did it turn out orange?
Okay, so yes, my intentions were to dye it platinum / white-ish, I guess. So I went to Target, bought like all the necessary dye material, and it turns out you need to dye it blonde before you can dye it white. And so I grabbed the dyeing material, and they said, oh, since your hair is black, it will turn out blonde if you leave it on for this amount of hours and this long. Turns out, does not actually work, because this is like the first time dyeing my hair. It's not gonna change for me easily. It takes a couple times, and so that's why it's like sort of blackish brown, I guess. The lighting doesn't really show it that well, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's why it's brown now, and yeah, I like it, so I'm gonna keep it until the LAN,
Yeah.
and then I'll change the color after.
That's why I was wondering if you were going to go blonde before the LAN tournament. Oh my god, I forgot about the LAN tournament. You're playing live on stage? Is it going to be on stage?
On stage, yes.
Oh my god, are you nervous?
No, not yet. I know when I hop on stage and I see the crowd and I see all the cameras pointing at me, I will be shaking. But like I won't show it. I'll try to like act kind of cool, try to act excited to play, because this is literally like a dream come true for me to play on stage in front of everyone.
Dude, that's insane. So I will definitely be rooting for you. That's I'm also excited to see the rest of your team, because I know you said previously that I don't want to say that they don't really want to come on the show, but they might be a little bit more standoffish. Um, where not everybody's a streamer, not everybody's somebody that gets on camera. This is very uncomfortable for me, surprisingly. Even though I just talk shit for a living. Um, so yeah, it'll be nice to actually get to put face to names.
Yes, that's what I'm
Yeah.
most excited for. Actually, I'm excited to see. Honestly, I don't even know half the players in the tournament. Like I know their names on Wild Rift, of course, but like I've never seen their faces. But if you go to like the LCS or like the league competitive scene, you can match faces with names exactly. And I'm excited for Wild Rift to finally have some good names out there.
What are they
Yeah.
flying you out?
Yeah, Riot is paying for my hotel, food, uh, plane ticket, everything actually.
What do your parents think?
Oh,
So my mom was like, I didn't know like you're this good at video games, and I was like, kind of hurt by it. And I was like, she's like, you play this much video games to like actually compete at this level, and I'm like, damn, like what? But yeah, she was kind of skeptical. She doesn't really know much about the gaming world, or I like not much at all actually, and so she had to talk to my uncles about it, and like, oh yeah, yeah, it's Riot, they're pretty popular company, so like they trust them, and so yeah, she's okay with it. I'm flying out on April 26th, and I come back May 2nd. So yeah,
Wow, that dude, that's like a dream come true. Like I never thought I would have like be on a conversational level with pro players. Just from watching LCS for so long, it's like that's such a far shot away from that. But joining 16-bit was probably one of the better things that I've done because now I have an avenue to be able to talk to people like you, or we have Sultanos in the Discord, and he's been phenomenal with helping people out, or giving good advice to people who don't listen. But that's neither here or there. So it's really cool being able to talk with pro players on a regular basis. Now I just need to hit Grandmaster so I can get into the dang Cloud9 Discord server because Kimmy will not let me in. But
yeah.
um,
Wow. It's still a bit weird to me for my viewers and your viewers and you to even call me a pro. Like growing up as like I started watching League in third grade, and I would see like Faker and like I don't know like Double Lift and Sneaky and like all these pros like just become pros, and I'm like, wow, like I wish I could do that one day, and call me pro and ask me for help to like play the game. And I guess it's really cool that like considered a pro now, like after all my work like since third grade. So
yeah, dude,
I
that
have a
is.
question about that.
I'm gonna shut up and let you ask your question.
Um, Doublelift had a take on how like being a pro player felt a couple years ago to how it feels now, and I was just curious how you feel as like a professional Wild Rift player, how it feels.
how it feels like right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
like
well, I feel like since the start of the Wild Rift scene, I considered myself a pro, like playing on tournaments and doing well, like almost all the time, playing against the top players. Like I consider myself a pro then, but like making the qualifiers, and this is like the first time I'm being flown out by any company to play video games. So now I consider myself like a full-on pro, and honestly, I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Like there's still so many emotions. Like I wish Last Chance Qualifier had my video camera on, because I dropped my phone. I was like, crap. I broke my phone before the like after making it, and I don't know. I was just so excited, and like still like I'll talk to my teams, and like I'll be like, no way, dude. Like we literally made it. Like we honestly everyone voted against us, by the way. Like in the qualifier, we faced off against enemy first, and all the casters, everyone in chat was like, "Oh, goodbye," and like so did I. I planned. I didn't plan to stay the whole day. Actually, I made plans with my friends, and I had to cancel it because we somehow beat enemy. We somehow beat fun havers, and yeah.
Dude, that's insane. That's just it's such a surreal aspect for that to happen. My cat is in here now, and she is talking to me. Um, her question was meow. So I guess we'll play this video for everybody in chat, and if anybody has any questions or wants to ask anything, it can be anything random. You can join us in Discord. You can just post your chat, post in the chat, whatever you want to do, and we will answer your questions, I suppose. So I got this live. Let me do this. That should pop that up, and let's make sure it's in good quality.
Buddy, if it makes you feel better, I was Emerald at one point as well. So anyone can be a pro if they put enough hard work into it.
All right, what are we about to watch? EDG's charging in.
I don't see the video on your stream, by the way. Letting you know.
Should be like 20-second delay, I think.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is.
I'm gonna replay that.
This was insane. I saw this live and I was jaw dropping.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, that was amazing, dude. Wow.
Watching some of Sultanos play, it was crazy watching this guy play. Nope. There we go. Here we go. Just watching some of these recon plays. Why ads? Damn it.
Get the safest music.
Let's see. It's probably gonna copyright me.
They just disconnected.
Like, this dude is insane.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
That's
Yeah, my Discord disconnected. I don't know if you guys heard what I said, but
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I was too busy.
uh,
yeah.
my,
Would,
I said like how like no one was voting for us to win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I heard
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a shame, like, being the underdog when everybody's rooting kind of like against you, because you would think Enemy has been playing around for so long and they've won tournaments that you guys they'd wipe the floor with you like a new team coming in. But it's awesome to know that you were able to prove the haters wrong. But the fact that you have haters in the first place means that you're doing the right thing, right?
I don't think we have haters. I think they just have a bigger fan base, and they were They were in the finals last year, I think.
Casters
Oh.
are haters, man. Casters are haters.
Yeah. Dude, they hate me.
And
I
you
swear.
you can look at it two different ways too, because if you have a lot of fans and everyone's rooting for you, that's a lot of pressure. Whereas, like, if you go into it thinking that it's already lost, there's no pressure and you can just play freely.
Yeah, agreed.
So
Uh,
Yeti asked, "What are your favorite moments in League of Legends pro play?"
I don't think I have a favorite, but
Yeah.
okay. I think the most iconic pro play for League, PC, and making it esport, or like making esport thing, is Faker's 1v1 outplay on Ryu.
Yep.
But my favorite is when Cloud9 beat Korea and made it to semifinals, because I felt proud to be an NA player at that point in time.
Who was on the roster at the time?
Sneaky, Jensen, Impact, Bunny, Fufu,
Oh,
and no, not Bunny, not Bunny, Smoothie, and I forgot who jungler is, but
For me, the one that really sticks out is when Bjergsen was still on TSM and they were playing against Cloud9, and Bjergsen was back on Akali and he popped off. He literally turned that game around 1 versus 9 and just carried the team, and he said, "I will not lose."
I remember that. It was devastating. For me.
Some of the best memories that I have, though, is not really even the pro play per se. It's recording these VODs, recording the scrims, talking with the management of the team, like Barge and Bonsai, and just some of the back scene or behind the scenes stuff that people don't get to see. Those are some of the best memories for me as far as it comes to pro scene. Um, Unfortunately, oh, go ahead.
I would say Yeti. He says like his favorite was the Ash Arrow on Echo in 2016. I would say that's also like another like iconic plays made by a player, and like like now that like you guys point this out, like I'm hoping like I can make a play like that, and like cement my name in history in the Waldorf scene.
Now I'm
Watch
thinking.
your game, but I've already heard that your Galio game was pretty hype.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back
it's
and
okay.
rewatch. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch. For now that we're talking about it, one of my favorite teams was Gambit back in the day, just because Moscow 5 at the time, just because they were so innovative. They literally changed the way most people played League of Legends, and it was that matchup where is it Ginja that was their AD carry? He was playing Urgot bot lane, and that allowed Edward to just roam on Alistar all game, and Edward flashed over the Raptor pits into mid lane and ended up picking up the assist and the kill. And just watching those guys play was probably my favorite era of League of Legends.
Yeah.
But the only merch I own is a TSM jersey, so hopefully we'll get a Eilish jersey, and then I'll buy a Just Mobile Gamer one, hang it up on my wall, look at it every night before I sleep.
We'll see. I'll talk to the team about that. Oh, did you see what Andrew?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch Pro League and Pro Wild Rift at some smaller area? I watch the VCS and WCS quite often just because I am Vietnamese.
Yes, I do. As a pro player, I have to. I need to know what the meta is around the world. I need to know what like teams do in the VCS and what's it called, LPL, I guess, and LCK. Like I watch all those teams just because I need to know meta picks. I need to know what picks are strong. I'm also V as well, so like watching VCS is always hype for me. See what the best team is. So
Do you speak Vietnamese?
yes, I do.
I don't.
Huh. Didn't expect that one.
Yeah, I know. It's shocking. People just assume that I do. I don't know why.
Huh. Never would have guessed that.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay. I'm in the same boat as you. Surprising.
Go figure. My English is pretty good though. Some days
Okay. Could be better.
could be better. Always. I guess if there's not really any more questions from chat, we'll go ahead and wrap this up because it's coming up on an hour. Anything else chat wants to ask by chance? Archer, do you have anything you want to ask? Adam, while you're in here, anything else you wanted to talk about?
If you guys want to watch some hype gameplay, watch anything of Rush or Peanuts Lee Sin. It's beautiful.
Yes, those two are crazy. Rush is in the military now, so he doesn't make any more content. But
Is it the same Rush from PC?
yeah,
Okay.
I assume that's what he's talking about.
Is he in the military?
Yeah, he is now.
Ah, poor Korea.
There was that other guy from the was it the EU LCS Unforgiven?
Yeah,
He left, joined the military, and then came back, and he was like still one of the top 80 carries. Yeti asked, who was your first champion you decided to main and why? Can't hear you. Justin, can't hear you, man. Nope.
I guess I can wrap this up.
Yeah, what about you, Adam? Why? Who was your first champion?
When I first started playing, I played Zed for 700 games only.
Okay, my
Yep, we can hear you
And
again.
that I liked his kit. He was very maneuverable, and this was also before a lot of his nerfs back when his shadow was instant. So it was extremely OP and fun.
The first champion for me that I've ever mained was Lee Sin. On PC, I would play top lane Lee Sin. And I loved him when I came to Wild Rift because you could insect a lot easier. However, I no longer play that, so I don't really know if I have a main. I just play Thresh now, Thresh and Rakan.
For me, I think on PC it was Kog'Maw, and it's because Kog'Maw looked cool to me, and being a third grader, what looks cool is what you want, and so that's why I mained him for a while. For Wild Rift now, I don't really have a main. I have to practice all supports, so yeah.
Hold on. You just kind of glossed over an important fact there. You said you were in third grade when you started playing League of Legends.
Yes, I
Holy crap!
competed in tournaments in fifth grade by the time, and I did pretty
Really?
good. Yeah, I made like $800 off of playing League.
So what you're saying is you've been a pro gamer since you were in fifth grade.
Yes, but I didn't know it was never flown out. I made money, but I was never flown out.
I
So
mean, that's the definition of pro. You make money for playing video games.
yeah, but yeah, okay, yes, I was a pro in fifth grade.
That's that's sick. That's sick. So Kog'Maw. What about Wild Rift? What was the first champion you made on Wild Rift?
uh, I think it was. I don't. I honestly don't even remember. I just played everything because
Yeah.
season one of Wild Rift, I literally, I like this kind of ego talk, but I think I was literally the best ADC in Wild Rift season one. Um, there was no ADC that could beat me, I guess, and like all the top ADCs now go back, or like you can check my DMs with them, but they would ask me to coach them on how to get good at ADC.
Well,
So
and how many people had played League prior to that? Like, how many people didn't come from like Mobile Legends and were decent or average at League and knew what the champions were already? Like, we came into the game with such a big advantage. Any champion they add, it's not new knowledge to us. These items are all
yeah,
old.
I can't tell you a number on that, but they were all considered pretty good at their time. Like I was like they're all like really good players. Like though I was
Yeah.
considered like one of the top, they were like right below me, so they were not far behind.
You heard
I
that.
think
Justin said he shits on all of you.
I just think it's an advantage coming in with more game knowledge because there's less that you have to learn and think about. You can more focus on like the finer things.
Yeah, that is true.
100%.
Yeah, I already knew how to play this game before everyone else played the game, I guess. So
You know, it's so weird because I make the content that I make for people who are new players. My target audience isn't the challenger master players who've already figured out the game. I want the people to come in who haven't had a chance to figure out the game yet, but know that there's something wrong with their gameplay that they're looking for the advice to kind of help break them into it. Whereas, like you said, coming over with a lot of League of Legends experience is hands down the most beneficial thing that I've had in content creation because I'm like
yeah,
I'm not some big name coach for I'm not Jackson Arrows who's coaching GK or writer or something for 16-bit, but a lot of what I share is just basic fundamentals. Once you get the fundamentals down, then you are able to really work on excelling in your gameplay.
yeah.
They want me to ask, what are the differences you found in Wild Rift than LoL PC, and do you think that Wild Rift is independent? Like, do you think the game can stand alone?
I mean, the game is standalone right now. There's not much help from PC, I guess. Uh, the difference between Wild Rift and LoL PC is the game's a lot faster. The game's faster, and I think that's the main difference, I guess. PC is more, every game is more sweaty, I guess, and a lot more, I guess, strategy in it. Versus Wild Rift is like, oh, dragon's coming up. This is gonna be a big fight. This is where you wouldn't lose the game, and so that's the main difference. Wild Rift games last between, or the games are just most of the time decided by like 8 minutes. PC, it can last from 20 to 30. I have games where it's gone like an hour, 30 minutes before. So
That was the old meta back in the day. It was stall, stall,
yeah,
stall, stall, team fight, win the
yeah,
game. I couldn't imagine being at old tournaments where you had to play like 15 games in a day, and it was just hour-long games. That had to be insane.
yeah. That was crazy back then.
I think this game works just fine as a standalone game. I actually think it works better than PC League because it has a lower requirement to be able to play the game. You need a decent PC for League PC, whereas most everybody owns mobile phones. That's why AOV was the like one of the highest ranked games or most played games of I think 2021. Everybody has a phone. You can't not have a phone in this modern world. Granted, some phones are potatoes, some are top of the line. But yeah, I think the future is going to be mobile gaming just because everybody has it. And I think League of Legends or League of Legends Wild Rift is more in depth of a MOBA than AOV, than Mobile Legends Bang Bang, because those games don't feel. And this could be bias because I'm coming from League of Legends. Those games don't feel like a
Yeah.
complete MOBA to me.
Hmm.
Like jungling, for example, yeah, you can play jungling, like you can play Fanny or something from Mobile Legends, but it just doesn't feel complete. It doesn't feel right. It just something's missing that I think Wild Rift really encapsulates.
Hmm. Yeah.
What do you think, Adam?
I think I agree with what Justin said and what you had said as well. And my opinion is that they're not the same game, but if you're going to compare them to any other game, it's going to be League of Legends. That any item they've added has previously been in the game. Any knowledge can be transferred over more so than you could anything else. You
Hmm.
can't look at Mobile Legends and learn from there and learn champions and try to translate that over when you could go and look up League of Legends and find videos that have been out for years and years. And to say that they're not comparable because it's PC, it's not the same, the patch is different, that just shows a lack of understanding of the game because the game is always changing.
Yeah.
But the fundamentals generally stay the same.
Hmm. Yeah, and that is so true. One thing I will say, and probably shouldn't say, is um I play a lot of League PC till this day. Actually, I've been playing it more than Wild Rift, in all honesty. Coming to that tournament, I played like probably 3 ranked games that whole week. Coming to that tournament, but I played a crap ton of PC League with my friends who we play competitively. I guess like it's just ranked League. I guess it's not that competitive, but we try, and
When you
I
take
take
the
game
game
knowledge.
seriously,
Yeah.
you take every game and you never try to lose. You always try to do your best.
Mainly for League, yes, but other games, not. I troll. But in League, like I take that game knowledge. Like I practice my shot calling on League, and like all League skills from PC transfer over to Wild Rift. And then, yeah, and that's why I think there's a pretty huge advantage for me compared to a lot of players who just like start off, I guess.
Do
Just
you,
argument a lot that they're not comparable, and it usually comes from a lack of understanding of the actual game. They
Yeah.
might be good in some aspects, but they don't know what they don't know, and that shows by their opinion. Because there's a lot that, I mean, nobody plays perfect, Even Faker has his off moments.
Yeah, he was replaced for a whole season by Easy Hood. So, the best in the world got benched at one point. So,
Yeah.
Dio says, "I'm tired of playing solo queue against teams. Do you think they should separate that in the ranked system?"
Yes.
Yep.
I've been waiting. It's so dumb, actually. How you can be the rank solo queue should be rank solo queue, and then if you have 5 man, then there should be like a different queue for it. Because like a lot of times, I find it very unfair for when me and my team match up. Right, we're all like former GM, all challenger players. We're matched up against Emerald or Diamond players. There's such a huge gap, and it's like taking free LP away whoever 5 man's against us, and so they need to fix that. Honestly, the one problem I have with Wild Rift is that the ranking system is complete garbage.
I agree. That's why I can't climb. It's just a garbage system. That's exactly what
Oh,
it is.
I will be right back.
Yep, yep. And go ahead, go ahead. Oh, he cut it off. Um, so Adam, what do you think? Do you think the system should be separate for teams?
So I don't know if you can be a solo and be against a 5 man. I think if it's a 5 man, you're like there's probably a trio and a duo.
Yep.
And I think that for sure, like that probably shouldn't be a thing, but I don't know what the queue times would be for 5 mans if they separated it. And that's probably a factor in it at the moment, at least, until ranked gameplay becomes higher leveled and is taken more seriously. When more people start to take rank seriously and the game knowledge improves, then I think that a lot of things will be able to change. But when you complain about things with a lack of understanding, it's coming from nothing. And so it's hard to make changes when you don't really know what to change. So you can't give an opinion because it's like it's only going to get worse. So I think they're trying to figure it out, but it's going to be a slow approach. And
Yeah.
I think that with good content, that the level of play, it's been up and down. I think it's been more on a downward slope recently, but it's always the hopes that it goes back.
League of Legends has the benefits, or League of Legends has the benefit of being around for so long that they've had so much time to fine tune and collect all the information that can be more accurately dispersed to match you up against someone your own rank, whereas Wild Rift's still in its infancy. The second part of this question was, do you think we should be allowed to close the game on champion select to dodge Q?
Yes.
I agree.
Dodging is a skill. I that's actually a quote from one of my friends who's I think GM player on PC League, and like there should be options to check your rank or to check the rank of your teammates, and see if you want to dodge the game, because a lot of times you'd rather sack 3 LP and wait 5 minutes in queue. Yeah, 5 minutes in queue. Over playing a 20-minute game where you're gonna lose because of that one person. And so honestly, I don't
Could be
get why Riot's
diamond
not
and
doing it.
below as well.
Yeah, like Riot, I don't know. Riot is not implementing it because they don't want it to look bad. You don't want people feel bad if you're getting dodged on, and so that's why they haven't implemented it yet. But like PC League, if you got rid of Q dodging, then the whole system would go crazy.
It's all in champ select if a game's doomed already. Some games you can tell someone's already typing or the comp just looks terrible, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'd rather go do something else.
Yeah, or you have a troll pick like a Teemo jungle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
YouTube was my idea. Says, do you guys think Wild Rift is going to be like LoL PC in the future in terms of game time, macro, et cetera, et cetera? I don't think so. I think it's a lot more streamlined. There's not so much macro play. in Wild Rift, like for example, you can't really slow push because there's not enough minions to build up, like you could on PC. So unless they added more stuff to make the game more in depth, but then again, I'm not sure how things are going to be with these Hex Tech dragons because I didn't play League of Legends with the Hex Tech, or the Kim Tech or whatever the heck they're called.
Yeah.
Do you,
Uh,
do you think?
yes, yes. I do think they are heading in that direction. With all the updates and all the patches and them adding and elemental drakes, they're trying to head in that direction to make like water more somewhat like PC League and try to like make the games actually longer, which is surprising to me, which I actually dislike. I'd rather Waldrift be more standalone and have their own meta, have their own style to the game, over playing PC League because like if you have a PC, like what like it just makes more sense to play PC League over playing on your phone, and so. Like if they're heading in this direction, like I'll probably play Wildrift a lot less, honestly. But for now, like it's different right now, enough for me to want to play Wildrift. Yeah.
Let's see. Andrew says, "How do you get your team to listen to your pings?"
I spam ping. Won't lie to you.
Spam ping. Yep.
Yeah.
If you
They
spam
don't listen,
ping,
you don't kill yourself or your team.
yep. I will abandon somebody. I will spam ping and I will abandon somebody. If they don't show up at the dragon, then you know what? I did everything that I could do. Yeah. Unfortunately there's nothing that you can do to make people listen to you. It'd be great if you could like play all 5 roles. I wouldn't get very far because I'm not that good at the game, but which rank did you guys spend most of your time trying to escape from, and why?
GM to Challenger. I climbed the ranks fairly fast every season. So yeah, I guess getting to Challenger would be mine.
Let me ask, because you like you said you climbed the ranks pretty fast. Do you think it's the amount of games you put in, or do you think your just win rate's a lot higher because of how good you are?
I think it's a bit of both actually. I feel like I put in a little bit less than the average player to climb my ranks, but at the same time, like I'm playing more consistent and more daily than maybe the average player, and I also think I'm fortunate that I've played a lot of PC League to know that I can carry games, and like I'm better than probably all Diamond players, and so like I know how to carry games most of the time.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean that makes sense. I figured it'd be a combination of both. How many games do you play on a daily basis, do you think?
Daily basis recently or
When you're
Weekly.
actually tryharding.
so my rule of thumb is for if I play okay when I really tried to hit Challenger, I played like 12 games a day. But recently I've been not playing too much, honestly. I'm still D4 because I haven't ranked this whole season actually. But I would say if you want to climb, if you lose 4 games, you have to tell yourself to win 5 games until you can quit. So
Ooh.
you always end on a positive day, no matter what.
Yeah,
That's the best way to climb.
I
You-
agree.
It will tilt the mind like that. You'll tilt you so hard. Like if you go 0-4 and like you know have to play like 5 games, but that's the best advice I can give you.
Gotcha. End on a positive streak. So if you win 2 games in a row and you feel like you could keep going, do you say go for it, or do you call it a win for the day?
I go until I lose at that point. If I'm on like a 5-game win streak, I play till I lose.
Gotcha. And then you call it.
Yeah, you kind of don't stop when you're on a roll.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's okay
I've
to
never
take
been
a
on
break, but like if you win a game, you always go next and you try to win the next. Like you don't want to take a break when you're hot. That's bad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fair. That's a fair point. Um, Dio says, "Hey, I've been chat banned for 3 days now. How do I reform? I still spam ping to piss my team off. LMAO." Um, I'm not sure, other than not or intention. Just don't say
Don't
anything.
focus on your team. Focus on what you could do differently to change the game for yourself. And no matter what happens, win or loss, what did you do? Look at your successes and just don't focus on the team. Focus on yourself because that's the only thing that you can change. No matter what you do, if they don't want to change, they're gonna keep doing what they're doing.
Yes, that is completely true. Also, since you're a toxic player, just mute everyone. Just straight up go into
That
game,
helps
mute.
because you don't have temptation.
Yes, I do that too. Like, though I'm not really toxic, I just don't want to deal with people who are just not good at the game, and so I just mute everyone.
Really, I think when you are a, I don't, because I don't know you, and I don't want to just say, you're a toxic person, but I think it says a lot more about somebody who is toxic than it does about their teammates. Because in all reality, we want to try to be mature.
Yeah.
But this is a game kids play, right? So we never know who's having a bad day on the other end of the screen. I've had people wish cancer on my family. So, I obviously I don't take that because I don't take that to heart because chances are they're a kid. I said dumb shit when I was a kid. And that says more about that person than me. It 100% says that they are probably, I don't want to say, I don't want to get into like they're bullied or whatever, but clearly there's some self-confidence issues there. But he said, oh, go
I
ahead.
don't know how Justin feels about this, but playing a lot of PC solo queue in the past and just PC period, I can't attest to the current level of toxicity in League of Legends, but I know it was pretty bad, so that kind of shapes you a little bit.
Yes. I do agree. Definitely Wild Rift is way less toxic than PC League. PC, you have computers, you have keyboards, and so like, you want to say something, you can say it really, really fast and really, really quick. So if you think you're toxic on Wild Rift, just just imagine how bad it is on PC. But honestly, like, it's not even worth to type in this game. At the like,
No.
It's too
you'll
hard.
just let out your anger at someone who won't give a damn after the game ends.
And chances are, because I live in the southeast, I'm not getting somebody who speaks English, and I don't know how to curse in Spanish. So, they did say I am toxic. My guild name is Riot Bandas. So Yeti asks, what do you think is the best way to grow Wild Rift's player numbers in North America? Obviously, we want to play in amateur leagues and tournaments, but how do we draw players into the game to do so?
With this upcoming tournament, we want, hopefully, all the teams who go to the LAN like show organizations that like, hey, like, invest in us, like, help us grow our community. And I think that's one way. That there's definitely a ton of factors and situations for us to help grow, but I guess at the end of the day it's up to Riot if they want to help us grow.
I agree. I think it needs to be. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do the teams have like YouTube channels?
I know C9, Immortals, Sentinels do. All the big orgs do, but a lot of the other ones don't. They just have Twitter, most of them. Ailish doesn't have anything.
Oh, is it Ailish? I've been calling it Eilish the whole time.
Ailish.
Ailish. Good to know. Wow, I should have known that. I was thinking like Billie Eilish, I guess. Now I know. I think the best way is exposure, 100% exposure. This tournament, like you said, is probably going to do a lot to expose the scene in general, because you don't want like an artificial, influx of people coming in who don't really want to be here, because no one progresses that way. You want people to actually try hard, and that's the bad part about ranked, because you do get trolls, right? You do get people who just screw around or hand their kid the phone or whatever, like me. Uh, I mean, it's not every game. That's not going to stop you from climbing, but you really want to. You do want people that try hard, but keep like a level head when they're trying hard. Which champion do you think should not come to Wild Rift? I think Kane.
Well, I think Timo, but Timos are in it. But Kane, yeah, I think Kane is one champion because his dash over the walls and stuff would be super annoying to play against. Talon, just because the map is super small and very fat, like assassins will just thrive in this game. Those are my champions, I guess.
That triggered me.
LeBlanc would be another one. Who do I not? I really want to see Zoe come to the game. I want to play Zoe and just delete people from 2 screens away. Archer says they want Fiddlesticks and Wild Rift. Oh boy, we have 11 viewers now at the end of the stream. You guys are late. You guys are late. If y'all have any questions, though, and you're just tuning in, feel free to go ahead and ask them, because we're at the point where we're just asking questions and talking with the chat. Also, if you want to get in on the topic of discussion, it was most important role from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, or 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. Feel free to type in chat what you guys think. We'd be more than happy to discuss. Dio asked, what's the 40-40-20 rule to Yeti? And they said 40% of your games are decided by someone on your team. 40% of games are going to be wins no matter what. And 40% will be losses no matter what. So.
I don't really agree with that. But
20% of the games are decided by you.
Maybe. I personally don't agree with that. I think if you're you belong in your elo if you are not carrying your games. If you are in silver and you're not carrying games, then that shows that you belong in silver. And until you learn and until you are proving, like, every single game, like you're either the MVP or SVP, like in your match history, and you're not climbing, then yes, then there's something wrong. Like I don't know why you're not climbing. But I don't think games are like decided by like. I don't think games are decided by 40-40-20 rule. I think games are like sort of coin flip once you reach your peak, I guess, because that's where you either pop off or just do average. And so like it's sort of dependent, I guess, because like once you reach your peak, it's very hard to climb until like you change something huge and like you climb like crazy. And so
Yep. And that's been one of the best things that I've been able to do with people is like, especially ones that are stuck at a lower elo, they just can't figure out what they're doing wrong. Just a second pair of eyes on a gameplay can change the world for that person. It's been beautiful to be able to watch people grow through this whole process. So he said the last 3 were, just to clarify, 40% of your games are going to be wins no matter what, 40% will be losses no matter what, and 20% of the games are decided by you. Do kills matter or do towers matter?
I'm guessing he's asking which one matters more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would say it depends. If you're able to get first tower, I think it's more worth. But like it's always situational. Like imagine you're getting a kill right before Elder, and that's a free Elder for you right there. So it depends on the situation. That there's no which one's better, I guess.
Do you pointlessly chase kills because that's gold? No. Do you pointlessly take towers because that's gold? No. But uh, are they both valuable? Yes.
See, I wasn't. I guess I was thinking black and white or a linear thought. I was thinking towers 100%, but then you were like, oh, it's very situational because, like you said, you could get that pick before a dragon fight or a baron fight and just completely change the dynamic of the game. So that's a very good point. I tell people all the time that kills don't win the game, destroying the nexus does. But I might have to reconsider what I tell people now after you brought that up. That's a very good point. Thank you.
Anytime.
How do you come back after losing your lane?
Um,
I,
well,
So it depends on the lane that you're up against. I think knowing what the enemy champions want to do and knowing what you want to do. Like if you know a Darius wants to hook you, he wants to auto attack slow and hit the sweep, then you play just out of his range to where you can bait his abilities and miss them. And then when his cooldowns are down, then you take advantage of his mistakes. And you have to kind of know what they want to do. And it depends on if like you're better than them, right? Because like if they are better, they're not just going to blow stupid cooldowns and they'll play it better than that. But if you play better than them and they're just a basic, Darius, you can walk up to him and then sidestep his hook, just max out of range, and then his cooldown's down. Do the same thing with his cleave, and you just outplayed him. And that can stop you from losing lane, actually. And it can definitely help you if you are losing lane to not just take free damage and just bleed.
I
yeah. Go ahead.
I think one of the most important things you can do, especially if you lose lane, is you're probably going to be a little bit tilted. It's probably going to happen. Calm down. Try to calm down. Return back to or think back to what are your win conditions. Try to lose gracefully if possible. Don't give up any more kills. But coming back to the game, coming back in after you've already lost lane, focus even more on fundamentals because a lot of people think, oh, I have to make a play. I have to make a play. I have to pop off to be able to get this game back. Really, you just need to play consistently and hopefully wait for the team that's already ahead or cocky or whatever to throw the game because that's usually what happens when you're so far ahead. A lot of people at lower elo don't know how to close a game out. So they will make a mistake, and that's your chance to capitalize on it. So just calm down and focus back on your fundamentals.
I was gonna say that I think the only way to really come back from a laning phase is to play off your enemy's mistakes, I guess, and just try to farm as much as you can. Sometimes when I start to lose lane a bit, like maybe I'll like into a first blood or something, I'll be able to like sort of catch up in gold through my CSing because I guess I can just see it like manage the wave better than most ADCs, and so like you can't really guarantee you'll always win lane after giving up 2 kills, but you can play off their mistakes and have a chance, like a somewhat of a chance to win your lane again. So it's pretty hard, to be honest.
Sorry, I'm doing background stuff. Distract everybody. Distract everybody.
That's a difference in play styles of like on how people position. Like you can position in a way to make the enemy make a mistake while you're also being fairly safe. Maybe a little bit unsafe, but like you're not inting, but you can play in a way that you can make enemies make mistakes and then capitalize on that. Or you can just play with too much respect, where you respect what they can do too much and you just farm and don't like I've had a lot of marksmans that will stand 3 screens away and the Ashe is like throwing her second ability on the minion wave nowhere near the enemies at all, and they're just playing super safe, and it's understandable, but that's too much respect.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta kind of borderline it, because you can get into the enemy's head with your movement and make them miss skill shots and make them miss position and underestimate their damage or overestimate their damage. And if you have that knowledge and that ability, you can make openings. Whereas it's really calculated. Like there's a fine. It's a I call it a double-sided blade, because it's like you're close to inting, but if it works out, it can play really well.
I like that
And
acronym. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
that's what separates me between Justin, because I'm peaking over here at like Platinum 1.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So we'll climb out together. We'll do a queue and climb out together. I like this acronym ABDS. Always be doing something.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of people. Or go ahead.
Yes, I feel like I actually don't like that acronym too much. I feel like sometimes when you're feeling like you're too far behind, and like sometimes when objectives aren't up, like people will just take fights for no reason at all and just throw the game away. And like sometimes you just need to farm and just chill. I think
Well,
a lot of
isn't that doing something?
yes, I guess you're right about that. But like at the same time, like I feel like in the lower elo, doing something is either fighting or like yeah, or fighting over objective. Like that is what a lot of lower elo people tend to do. Like that's what I've seen from my experiences.
I think it's a problem with the acronym. I think it's an understanding of what they should be doing. There's a lot of things that they could be doing that they should be doing instead of doing nothing. But if you're doing the wrong thing, obviously that's going to be bad.
You know,
Because like you could be a support and you don't have to engage. You could just be positioning and being like a human ward, a poke bot, go run in and heal somebody while you're putting down wards. You could do a lot of things, but that doesn't necessarily have to be, ARAMing.
you know, and that's what I see a lot though, in like the coaching videos is now I'm just cutting it out. But people just run around for no reason, or you'll see what I call the mid game doldrums, where people just run around mid lane for no reason and just try to ARAM. Always be doing something useful is, I guess, maybe a better acronym. I'm not sure. I'm tired of my whole team dying for one stupid dragon. That's why I'm toxic.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Preston.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up, man? I did not know you got a microphone. Hey, do you want to go down real quick and give us your 1 through 5?
I would say jungle, mid lane, ADC, support, and top lane.
Huh.
Why did? Just curious. Why is ADC your third? Yeah, third.
Damage output for objectives. If they're really good, they can 1v1, potentially 1v2, depending on what they're playing. Like, there's a lot more value that they add. And I mean, of course, you can get that from the top lane too, but a lot of times they're up there 1v1ing in their own little world, so they don't bring a whole lot to the mid game.
I can see. I mean, I get it. I 100% get it. I just the reoccurring theme for the day is ADC has been the least important role in the game. So it's just interesting to hear someone have a different take and place them in third position. I believe.
I mean, a lot of that I'm looking at is for like objectives, Baron, Dragon, Herald. They make all the difference between a long objective and a short objective as far as time goes on taking them.
Unless you have Morgana.
Yeah, unless you have Morgana. She fits all roles.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
One more thing I had to add on the subject of losing your lane. Losing your lane looks differently for different champions. Like the example that I have is Nasus. I played a game one time where I died like 3 times. I can't even remember who I was playing against, and people were like, "Oh man, Nasus is inting," and so I just sat up top and fought a little bit, and then I ended up taking 4 or 5 different towers, 2 inhibs, and I pretty much won the game. So it looked like I lost my lane, but I guess I lost my early lane, but
That's a good
sometimes that
point.
doesn't necessarily matter as long as you cover.
That
That,
is
that's a good point.
true. I didn't think about that actually. Yeah, it does depend on your champion. Sometimes you're a early game champion who will win lane versus a late game champion who will outscale you late game. So yeah, that's true.
So win lane, lose game, or lose lane, win game is a possibility.
That
Absolutely.
is that is true, I guess.
Well, I get, yeah. It really just depends on if your champion is a scaling champion, or if they kind of peak out.
This is a really good point. Yami brings up. I think the biggest reason ADC is low or so low on that list is the only are that it's only really valuable late game. Most games are decided in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
True.
I could see that, but another thing is that I find that people in Wild Rift tend to think the game's over way too early, and so they give up. They start inting. They make the wrong plays. Whereas if you would just wait and wait for late game, there's so many times where I'm telling people, I'm like, guys, our late game is going to be way stronger than theirs. If you just chill out, farm, don't int anymore, we can totally come back and win this.
Bro,
And they
why
all
have
just
you
get
been
tilted.
attacking me all week? I feel like you've just been calling me out all week.
Is that meh?
Oh man, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. That was the end of my thought.
I feel like everything you just said described me. Stop inting. Don't forfeit.
Oh,
So yeah, that's what I meant. Like you've been attacking me all week, just
oh no,
beating me.
absolutely not.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I agree with that because I've had multiple times where I've either been losing lane or been even, and like they've been pressured to dive me, and I could be like solo marksman bot lane, and I'll outplay them. And it's not easy, and it doesn't always work. But the odds of it happening with me versus my random marksman, it's just like I know I can't leave them alone. They're not going to get 1 kill off of the dive, let alone 2, maybe 3. And I think the mental boom of like something bad happens and it's like it's unplayable. I can't do anything. And it's like, yeah, but you could if you knew what to do. And that shows the difference between like a true emerald player, a true platinum player, a true diamond player, and not is the game knowledge of like how do you come back from being behind.
Ex-
Not every game you win lane, you get ahead. You got to know how to come back from counter matchups and all kinds of factors in this game.
Justin, I'm curious, man. What do you consider low elo? Like where is the division between low and high elo?
Um, Honestly, I still consider GM low elo. I'm not gonna lie. Um, like there's different like a lot of people who aren't GM, who aren't like 400 LP GM. Like there's different tiers to GM, right? I consider everyone who is barely 100 LP GM, like low elo, 200 LP ish, low elo, and then anything above 400 is considered high elo for me. Um, so yeah, that's where my cutoff is.
Ow, that hurt. Why are you attacking me, Justin?
I'm
I
just
kind
being
of agree
honest.
with that. Because I got to diamond, I was like, yeah, I'm finally in the high elo, and then I'm seeing people that are still just like trying to 1v3 and they're 0-6, and I'm like, what are you? How
Yeah,
did you get to diamond? How?
yeah,
I can agree to some extent. I guess it determines by the aspect that you're viewing it. If 10% of the player base is diamond, that's pretty good. Or diamond or higher. Um,
See, I agree with that, But at the same time, if 90% of that 10% still isn't playing the game the way that they should, the way that, the people who truly understand the game are like, I mean, you're playing the game and you made it to the top 10%, but if you're still not playing the game properly, like,
That's fair.
I don't know.
That's fair.
Well,
Oh
and this
crap!
game is different too, so you could be a PC player and you still have to learn the metas, the items, the updates, the new champions. You still have to learn how they feel in this game.
Um, guys, I might have to cut my time on the podcast.
No, you're good.
A little short, actually.
You're good.
Because I have a scrim and can't be missing scrims before land. So
No, you're absolutely right. We're at an hour and 45 minutes. We went about 45 minutes longer than I thought we would. Holy crap. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Preston, thank you for joining us. Archer, thank you for joining us. Demon, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to join us next week, feel more than welcome to. Everybody's allowed to come on. I mean, when we get to the point where we're at millions of followers or whatever, subscribers or whatever, then we might have to limit who comes on. But with that being said, we'll wrap it up there. Justin, thank you for your time. Everybody, thank you for your time. And we will see you sometime next week. Same time, same bat place.